All right, so let's discuss the elephant in the room. How many secret haters there are out there of Aries energy. And I do mean Aries energy, not Aries people. If you're one of those Aries energy haters and super uncomfortable with Aries fire, then listen up. Hating on Aries energy right now and in the foreseeable future is really not a good idea. Let's discuss why. So welcome to the channel, or welcome back. My name is Stella Wilde, and we are going to dive into this energy of hating on Aries in our episode today of Coffee and Cosmos. As always, your respectful comments are welcome below. So whether you like it or not, Aries is an energy that is front and center and will be for the foreseeable future. We have just had Neptune go into Aries. I will link 2 videos that I have made about that transit here, so please check them out so you'll be able to work with the energy and think about it a little more deeply for yourself. I hope those videos spark some introspection and insights for you. Then, mid-February, we will have Saturn entering Aries as well. So having 2 major outer planets transiting the sign of Aries is a big deal. And one of the reasons I am making this video is that with those 2 Neptune and Aries videos that I did, which were very no-nonsense, calling out a lot of bullshit, behind the scenes, there were comments that were extremely nasty, had a lot of vitriol in them, which made me think, what is this backlash against Aries energy? So hence this video, because it is important for the collective, in my opinion, to look this squarely in the face, especially, if you're a hater of Aries energy. It's not going to help you going forward, because you can run, but you can't hide from Aries energy. Next 3 years with Saturn and Neptune in Aries, the next 14 years with Neptune in Aries. I mean, come on. And the other thing that's really important and crucial to understand is that we all have Aries energy in our natal chart. You can't just cherry pick and choose which, area you want to focus in on in your natal chart. It's all relevant. You have 12 houses in your chart. Aries occupies one of them. You get an Aries, you get an Aries, that person gets an Aries. That was my Oprah voice. But you get my point. Even if you do not have a planet or planets occupying in your natal chart the house of Aries, Aries is still relevant. It's part of your chart. And when planets transit through there, they're going to activate that house for you. So for certain people to just be blanketly hating on Aries energy, they're actually hating on their own chart as well. You are literally disowning and disavowing a part of your chart that actually is going to be highlighted for you over the next many years, as I've already said. Why would you want to do that? As I've said all the time on this channel, it's about using energies. It's not about, as I said, the cherry picking. Let's just pick our favorite energies and transits and look at those. Not everything is happening. We got to look at it all. It all has something to teach us and give us if we are open-minded enough to look at it, think about it, see how it might apply to you or not. Okay. But to dismiss it out of hand and hate on it is not helpful. Why do people hate on Aries energy? What is the problem with Aries? And remember, we are talking about energy here, not specific people. I'm just going to pull out a few highlights of main reasons. There are probably others. You can leave them in the comments if there's other things you'd like to share of why you think people hate on Aries. Because I want to keep this video a reasonable length, but let's look at that first. And yes, every sign, every planet, every energy has a helpful side, a higher vibration side, and of course, a lower vibration side. We're not discussing the lower vibration here. We're looking at why people hate on Aries, and they hate on Aries or they hate on whatever because there is something in it that threatens them or, reminds them of something they don't have. So we're looking more at the powerful side of it and what people are responding to. So the first reason I think that people hate on Aries is the raw authenticity, the no bullshit stance. Especially people who tend to project, who tend to not take responsibility, who tend to not want to deal with the truth, just deal in fantasy. They can't stand the Aries tendency to just tell it like it is. And the thing with Aries energy, the honesty, the authenticity, it's raw, it's real, it's born out of instinct and experience. It speaks from agency and authority, not just something it read in a book, not just a vibe it felt, not just some esoteric philosophical principle. No, it is lived truth. And Aries is not afraid to say it, to live it, to do it, to be it, to model it. So people who can't face themselves, they hate on Aries energy. The other reason that people hate on Aries energy is because Aries is a sign that gets things done. Aries is about momentum. We are always going places, doing things, this, that, the other. It's a very vibrant, energizing sign and energy. Let's just be real. Some people are plain lazy. They're just lazy. They complain, they whine. It's much easier than actually getting out there and solving a problem or doing something, or also using your God-given gifts and talents and making something of them for yourself. Because Aries doesn't just, talk. They walk their talk. They do the thing. So when you're doing the thing, and Aries often makes it look easy. That's the other thing, because they're very instinctually aligned. So it looks simple and easy for the lazy ones, but they don't realize, the amount of effort and work that does go into something with Aries energy. And then these, lazy people are wondering why they're getting left behind. Well, why don't you get off your ass? That's Aries speaking right there. Get off your ass and do something. And people hate on that. The lazy ones do. The other reason I think that Aries gets a lot of hate is because of their passion, their fire, their agency, their tendency to know the rules, but to break the rules. They don't ask for permission. You know that old saying, right? It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. That sums up Aries some of the time, absolutely. They're not afraid to test their own power, to see what they're made of, to see what happens when they go for something. And people who are afraid of their own power, look and see the Aries archetype, the Aries energy tapping into their own power, and they don't like it and they hate on it. That's sad, because for some haters, a comfortable life, a dull life is better. And I would say to that, that's kind of sad, because then you're not fueling, in my opinion, your inner flame. If you're just settling for never seeing what you're capable of, what risk you could take to put yourself out there, how boring AF is that? People who tend to fear their own power tend to resent and hate on other people who use their power. And Aries uses their power. I think one of the penultimate reasons that people hate on Aries energy is because it is an energy of independence, autonomy, and agency. Aries energy is not afraid to go it alone, do it alone, get it done themselves, teach themselves how to do something, etc. It's like that quote, life shrinks or expands in proportion to one's courage. And Aries has the courage to expand their life, and they will do it on their own. They don't need to wait around for a partner to bless them to do it, family to say, okay, yeah, you can go do that. No, they just go and do that. And even if they are quaking in their Aries boots, they won't show it. They'll just go and do it. They will feel the fear and do it anyway. So the house where you have Aries in your chart has the potential for you to tap into and use these Aries energy archetypes. But if you're the Aries energy hater people, you're robbing yourself of an opportunity to ignite that area of your natal chart. And you ignore them at your own peril, especially these next many years with Neptune and Saturn in the sign of Aries. Remember, Aries isn't chaos, it's ignition. It's igniting the flame. And wherever you've been hating on Aries energy, it's where you've been extinguishing that flame. Or you just never lit it in the first place. You were too busy hating. Okay, so let's break this out house by house of where you might have Aries energy in your natal chart. And if you've been hating on that energy, this is where and how you might be blocking yourself. It's important to be aware of this. So if you have Aries in the first house, your rising sign, and you're a hater, you're rejecting your right to take up space, to lead and act without permission. If you have Aries in your second house and you're being a hater on Aries, which is your house of self-worth and money, you're cutting off self-earned worth, money through your own initiative, and confidence built by action. If you have Aries in the third house of your mind, your voice, your intellect, your communication, and you're hating on Aries, then you're blocking or cutting off and silencing your voice, your ideas, and the courage to say what you actually think. That is a big one. Aries third house people, dialing into and expressing your truth is freaking huge. Why would you want to block that? If you have Aries as your fourth house of home and family and roots, and you're hating on that energy, then you might be resisting emotional independence and the bravery to break old family patterns. If you have Aries in the fifth house of your heart space, of what gives you pleasure and joy and creativity, then if you're hating on it, you might be suppressing your own desires. You might be blocking your creativity, your joy, and the right to want what you want. If you have Aries in your sixth house of work and well-being, and you are hating on that energy, then you could be avoiding responsibility for your daily habits, for your health, for your work ethic, and also your daily momentum. The ability every day to get up, make a schedule, get things done, be independent. Nobody needs to stand over you and micromanage you and tell you what to do. No, you just do it. But if you're blocking that, that may not happen. If you have Aries in the seventh house of other people and relationships, and you're hating on Aries energy, you might be expecting other people to carry the fire you won't claim for yourself. You're always, deferring to them. They need to make the plans. They need to do the things. You could be very lazy in relationships, possibly codependent if you're giving your power away and to the other person, giving your fire, your agency away, in other words. If you have Aries in the eighth house of transformation and you're hating on Aries energy, you could be afraid of transforming when it comes to transformations that are deep and that require a lot of courage, confrontation perhaps, and also personal power. If you have Aries as your ninth house and you're hating on Aries energy, you might be holding back your beliefs, your convictions, and even ways in which you might want to expand your life, which takes a lot of belief in yourself also. Because ninth house for me is the house of expansion and growth. It also is the house of beliefs, of course. But also, you may not have the courage to live by those beliefs. You may be blocking yourself if you're hating on Aries energy to take a stand for something you believe in and to live your life accordingly. If you have Aries as your 10th house of career and in the public image, and you're hating on Aries energy, you could be resisting visibility, leadership, and being accountable for ambition. If you have Aries as your 11th house of hopes, wishes, and dreams, and friendships and connections, and you're hating on Aries energy, you could be shrinking your role in the collective. Like, you don't want to be seen. You don't want to stand up. You don't want to use your voice. And you could be waiting to be chosen instead of being a leader among your peer group. You could also be just kind of waiting for wishes to magically manifest instead of actually putting the action behind them to align and let the universe know you're serious and to start making them happen for yourself. If you have Aries as your 12th house, a behind the scenes, the karmic wrap up house, the house of endings, and also the house of self-undoing. And if you're hating on Aries in the 12th house, you could be suppressing your own instincts, your own intuition, and your own inner fire that really wants to light you up and get you to wake up and move forward on your dreams. So Aries energy doesn't ask if you're ready. It asks, are you willing? Are you willing to do this? Are you going to step up and do this? And the house of Aries for you in your natal chart is where it will keep asking you that question. How are you going to answer it? Let me know in the comments. Because when Saturn goes into Aries mid-February, it's really going to highlight where and how you might be stuck in your Aries house, especially if you've been hating on Aries. And when Saturn and Neptune meet up at 0 degrees Aries on February 20th, you will be given an opportunity to reset the energy of this Aries house. It's the energetic signature of committing to building a bigger, better, bolder dream for yourself, a more aligned reality in that Aries house for yourself. And hating on Aries energy is not going to help you do that. So more is coming soon on Saturn's transit of Aries. So stay tuned for that. Hit the bell, subscribe, all the things so you don't miss those episodes, because I have quite a few planned because I think it's going to be very important to discuss. And let me know too what else you might like to hear about on my episodes of Coffee and Cosmos. I can't promise anything, but it's always good to see what people are thinking about and what they would like to know more about. Love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care. I will see you again soon. Stella Wilde, signing out.